Radiohead, Evanescence, Mystery, and Grunge. In true early 2000s fashion, these 23 episodes of cultural references on top of an obscure and distinctive plotline makes Ergo Proxy stand out. Hello, stars! My name is Athena, and welcome to the first episode in this series. How it works is I spin the wheel of anime I have personally watched at the beginning of the month, and by the end of the month, I make an anime review, where I go in depth on the production, the lore, and my ratings of said anime, while also drawing a gorgeous piece in which I will make available for you to buy yourself. This series was made so that I may practice my writing, speaking, editing, and drawing skills, and to help me retain and better understand the media I consume. If you want an anime added to the list, feel free to tell me in the Discord server below. Directed by Shuko Moraes in 2006, Ergo Proxy is about a world in which humanity and robots live in domes, protected from the outside world, which is uninhabitable. A problem arises in Ramdo as the robots, or autoraves, start developing the Cogito virus, resulting in murders and threatening peace in the dome. Riel is assigned to investigate these murders, but quickly learns there is something much deeper than just the virus at play here. She learns about the existence of a force called a proxy, hidden from public knowledge, and finds a lead between these creatures and a recent immigrant who seems to be connected with their appearances, named Vincent. They both become determined to solve the dark mystery of the dome's true nature and humanity's future. And that's where the story begins. The basis of Ergo Proxy was introduced to Moraes by Manglobe through a vague prompt and with plenty of freedom. The vision was for a futuristic detective thriller. With a given plot outline and the design concept, Moraes took creative freedom in the show's development, philosophy, and references. Chief writer Dai Sato explained his inspiration for the title, using the concept that everyone has another self inside of themselves and making reference to René Descartes' phrase, cogito ergo sum. In terms of characters, Vincent was actually meant to be the leading role in the story, but in developing Riel's character, they chose to split the narrative instead of having a single protagonist. As I mentioned earlier, this show is heavily inspired by the early 2000s Gothic aesthetic. Riel's design is seen to have heavy inspirations off Amy Lee from Evanescence. Ergo Proxy was first released in Japan on pay TV satellite from February 25th to August 12th, 2006, with DVDs released throughout the same year. It was licensed for the US starting November 12th, 2006, and was premiered on Fuse Pay TV with English dub from June 9th to November 24th, 2007. The DVD collection was released in December of 2008. After years of shared licenses, it was officially fully licensed by Funimation in 2012. Ergo Proxy is set in a post-apocalyptic dystopian future where humans and androids, or autoreivs, coexist in domes built to sustain society from the uninhabitable world outside, which was destroyed thousands of years ago by rapid climate change. Our story takes place in a dome called Ramdo. Here, the government is a bureaucracy split into different divisions. Androids have two types: companions, who have human-like appearances, and entourage, who have more of a robot appearance. Each autorave is built specifically to their purpose. Humans are grown in artificial wombs, still with the existing relation to their bloodline. Each human is born to fulfill their purpose or their raison d'etre. I don't know how to say that. We first find out about the Cogito virus, which is infecting the autoraves, causing them to gain self-awareness and committing murder. Riel Mayer, our first protagonist, voiced by English voice actor Megan Hollingshead, is the regent's daughter and known for her dark aesthetic, blue eyeshadow, and authoritative attitude. She is assigned to investigate recent murders with her autorave entourage, Iggy. At the location, she runs into two powerful creatures whom she attempts to defend herself against. They get away, and she returns to try to find more information on what these creatures might be. She encounters one again at her home, who quite literally breaks into her house and gets real up close and personal before fleeing. She finds out later that these are proxies when she sneaks into her friend and Dr. Thillis's computer. Vincent, our other protagonist, voiced by Liam O'Brien, is introduced as an immigrant from Mosque, another dome. He starts out working at the temporary immigrant sector for the Autorave Control Division, where he helps with the disposal of infected autoraves. He is found to have some connection with the proxies after a massacre that takes place in a public center, where he is seen fleeing from another proxy. Raoul Creed, head of the Security Bureau, is in grief at seeing the loss of his daughter in this massacre. He blames Vincent and spends the whole story hunting him and becoming more paranoid, even hallucinating Vincent at times. Vincent is hunted down by the Security Bureau, where he meets Pino, who is an Autorave companion built as a child with long purple hair, green eyes, and a pink bunny suit. She turns out to be Raoul Creed's companion. Pino helps Vincent, and they make an escape to the outskirts of the dome. He stays with the humans living down there for a short period of time, as Riel attempts to get more information and get Vincent to come back with her. Or kill him, as I don't know exactly. Things get a little awkward down there, I'll say, that's all I'll say. As tensions increase between the people outside the dome and the dome security patrols taking action, Riel is injured in the crossfire and needs to get back, as her suit is the only thing keeping her alive, as the outside condition of the world is not very friendly. But due to her condition, they come up with a plan and manage to trick the Security Bureau as they transport her back. Raoul Creed is sure that Vincent will come back with Riel, and is upset after a random outsider comes in his place. In the chaos, Vincent, Pino, and a few others escape on a vehicle powered by the wind. After this, we start getting into spoiler territory and deeper into the lore. Vincent travels through the harsh environment, finding nothing but starvation and emptiness as his other human companions fall one by one due to starvation. He eventually finds several other domes and proxies on his journey, with Riel joining him midway with Iggy. He finds that some of these proxies recognize him, as we see in one of the domes that had been destroyed and fighting with another dome. At the stop that Riel joins back up with Vincent, Iggy contracts the Cogito virus and starts sharing a love-hate feeling towards Riel. He has an overwhelming urge to protect Riel, while also hating how she treats him. He ends up trying to force Riel to come back home, even trapping her in a little pod in the back of the ship. And he also tries to kill Vincent, as he is the reason she is out here searching for information. But in the end, he dies to save Riel from an explosion after she escapes from the pod. They continue on, facing different proxies and problems that bring them closer together and closer to learning the truth of the world. The three of them witness the scraps that remain, the proxies holding on to the last of their world, proxies killing each other, and the vast wasteland of the earth. At one point, they even get stuck in a place as their wind-powered ship halts due to the lack of wind. The three of them are stuck in the middle of nowhere as they are slowly forced to ration their food and slowly lose their motivations and energy, as we see with Riel as she's trying to keep her body maintained, but eventually gives up due to exhaustion. But we get some of our character development as we see them bonding over what little joy they have. This includes Vincent and Pino stealing Riel's makeup and Riel kicking Vincent off the ship literally every day. But after that, Riel finally warms up to Vincent's antics and their ship is finally able to move again. They reach Mosque and find it destroyed with not a single sign of life. And also find that what they were looking for has been destroyed, except for a clue that draws them right back to Ramdo. They head back to Ramdo, and that's where the entire truth is revealed. Now, here is the whole plotline and lore explained briefly. You can find more on the lore in detail in its wiki or through some other Reddit discussions. That's where I got most of my stuff. But for reference, Proxies contain Emerita cells, making them immortal. Specific energy waves can destroy these cells, allowing them to be killed by other proxies, who can produce this too. In short, Vincent is Ergo Proxy, made from Monad and Proxy 1. Riel was supposed to be a clone of Monad to lure Ergo Proxy back to Romdo, but she was imperfect. Real Mayer, the clone Daedalus created in obsession for Riel at the end, was a perfect clone of Monad, memories and all. Monad was the proxy that they were experimenting on in the beginning and where they got the clone material from. She had lost her identity as she had taken Ergo Proxy's memories to let him live as a human, since he did not want to complete the task Proxy 1 had given him. She still had some memories as she recognized Ergo Proxy, or Vincent at the time, and chased him down in that public space. Towards the end of the show, Ergo Proxy fights Proxy 1 while learning the truth of the world. The Proxy Project was created by the previous humans once disaster struck the Earth. They made 300 proxies to take care of the domes, where they artificially created humans. But these humans could not procreate. After living for thousands of years, proxies grew tired, scared, or lonely. Many killed each other, ran away from their domes, or sought out others. Proxy 1 learned the truth and made Ergo Proxy to punish their creators by having him tasked with destroying everything. The Pulse of the Awakening was programmed into the proxies when the Earth and the domes were habitable for the humans on the Ark, which is a giant spaceship that the humans who created the proxies fled to. This meant all proxies and their creations, the pseudo-humans, would perish to make room for the real humans if all went to their plan. This would make the proxies die under sunlight. While fighting Ergo Proxy, Proxy 1 sustained devastating injuries and succumbed to that and the sun. Ergo Proxy gains immunity to the sun once Proxy 1 dies, due to them being the same person and the Pulse of the Awakening not having an effect on him once he is dead. Proxy 1 wanted this to happen so that Ergo Proxy could confront the creators. While all this is happening, Raoul Creed abandons everything else in the chaos that is now descended upon the dome. He finds signs of Pinot and goes to search for her, but just before he can, he is knocked into a large shard of glass and he bleeds out, unable to move. Daedalus is obsessed over his Riel clone, turned Monad, and starts the self-destruction of the dome, allowing it to start collapsing. Eventually, he is crushed under large amounts of rubble as he watches the new Monad abandon him and fly to Proxy 1 and into the sun, burning away into nothingness, as she has absolutely no care about this guy and only wants to see her lover. And that is where the show ends. Riel, Vincent, Pinot, and Raoul Creed's entourage all come together on a ship and fly off into the distance, where the rest is left for you to imagine. Now, each character had their own well-panned-out development. The relationship between Riel, Vincent, and Pinot was thoughtful and played out perfectly. We see this throughout the show as both Vincent and Riel warm up to each other and Pinot and develop a mutual trust. Each of their bonds and their development made for an emotional impact and bond to the viewer. The descent of Raoul Creed's sanity and his obsession with killing Vincent progressed deeper along with the story, and his connection with Pinot made for another heavy emotional impact. The English dub was performed well, with each character being acted out as they should. The visuals and art style of the show were beautifully done, and the backgrounds and animation were well developed. The soundtrack was probably one of the most memorable parts of the show, with the opening and endings containing Curie by Monorail and Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Me, personally, I loved this anime, for many of the reasons I said above. The visuals, the acting, the animation, and the character development, especially the music, gave me something new and drew me in, despite some of its flaws. Personally, my favorite parts were when the three of them had their own fun or stupid moments, especially, as I said, when in the ship when they were stuck. The only thing I would say is that the story got hard to follow towards the end. I started getting confused around the last 5 episodes or so, as the story tried to wrap up everything and answer all the plot points. I wonder if maybe if the show had more time, that the pace of the answers could have been slowed down or explained more. Despite that, though, the main thing that kept me coming back were the characters. Overall, the show was for sure an 8 out of 10. Ergo Proxy was a show with many great elements and well-executed ideas. Its dark plot, environment, and development was a major point of the show. Those looking for something dark, futuristic, mystery, and with deeper meaning should consider checking this one out. Overall, I recommend this show. Thank you guys for watching this. If you like to consider subscribing, as I will be making more of these episodes, as well as other art-related videos, like art history or tutorials. Please feel free to like and comment down below what your thoughts are on this anime or my commentary. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.